Welcome or welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, I'm Maria, and in today's video we are going to be going over my spring and summer TBR. I've gone through my TBR cart and chosen some of the books that I feel, for me, are very spring/summer-esque. Ones that I specifically would like to get around to in those seasons because I feel like they fit the vibe a bit more than my other books. I have a mix of fantasies and romance, but I feel they all fit the spring/summer vibe, just feel. They're just ones I feel like, for me, fits the kind of state I'm in summer. You gotta get it or you don't get it. We're gonna get straight into it because we've got a few to go through. I think I'm gonna also include, or try to include, some new releases or just other books that I don't have on my physical TBR, because I probably will buy more, even though I shouldn't really because I need to get through my TBR, but it's fine. It's fine. Let's get straight into talking about the books that I want to read over the next few months. From March, from around now until September, when we go back into autumn. Ricochet by Krista and Becca Ritchie. I always say this when I talk about this book, this series, but I just at this point want to get past Ricochet and Addicted for now, because I am so excited for Kiss the Sky and the sisters' stories. I feel no connection to the characters in this whatsoever, and I just cannot wait to move past their story, even though I will obviously read it or listen to it, I don't know. I feel no real ties to them as a whole. Again, cannot wait to get to Kiss the Sky though. I feel like that's where it's really gonna begin. Although I feel like people who enjoyed that have enjoyed Boys of Tommen, so I'm thinking maybe I'll enjoy it. I then have The Boyfriend Candidate by Ashley Winstead. This is just a fun little romance. I genuinely just picked this up because it was in the 3 for like £7, I think it was, deal in the works, and I've seen Ellen Catherine read this and really love it, so I'm very excited to just see what it's about. I feel like it could be a fun little palette cleanser read, one that I just read in 1 or 2 sittings to clear my mind, you know? It just seems perfect for that, and I think for me the vibe is giving spring. Picking Daisies on Sundays, which I feel like I have seen everywhere. Specifically, I feel like there was a time period where it kind of fell off my radar between like when I first got back into reading and then now, like recently, the past few months. It has been everywhere. In like 2023 or something, when it was indie published, that is when I first saw it and I heard so many good things about it, and then I kind of forgot about it because it wasn't really talked about and I didn't have the opportunity to pick it up. But then I recently, well, I say recently, I saw this in December in Waterstones and I was like, I have to get that. I saw it before and I have heard so many good things about it in the past, so I have to pick it up and eventually read it. And of course, I mean, is that not spring summer? I'm so excited for this. Sorry, are we matching? I don't know a huge amount about it. I just know so many people have recommended it. I cannot wait. And I think the cover is so adorable. I then, of course, have to include the one and only Emily Henry. I am literally the only person who has not read all of Emily Henry's books at this point, because why have I still got 4 of her books to read? She is, of course, one of the people that I can rely on to give me a good summer romance. I say these will all be read by the end of summer. They probably won't, because I literally don't know why I cannot read more than one Emily Henry book in the span of like 5 months. I've had these for almost a year now and I've only read 2 of her books. My aim is to read at least Beach Read and People Meet on Vacation before September. Specifically Beach Read, because I mean, I've heard so many amazing things about it. Who knows? I loved Book Lovers, I loved Funny Stories, so I do have high hopes for these and I do think I will love them. I just find her so funny. I then have In Your Dreams by Sarah Adams. This is just one of those books, one of those authors who writes everything so well. The setting, it's got to be prime summer. I mean, it's small town, it's got to be summer or spring at least. Like, she's so spring summer coded, so I'm very excited for this. I love her. I love Sarah Adams. I've loved the 2 books I've read in this series. I am also currently between reading Beg Borrow Steal, so I'm not including that in this video, but if I wasn't reading it, it would also be included. I just cannot wait. I think this is going to be so just perfect for that time of year, for this time of year. The cover, isn't she stunning? Like, even just like the colour scheme. We then have Cash by Jessica Peterson. This entire series is giving me what I need for summer. I feel like they're all going to be read by the end of August because, sorry, if you look at all of them, they are literally pure spring, summer, mainly summer vibes. And I just love a small town romance, especially a country cowboy sort of small town romance in the prime of summer. There's just something about it. I don't know what it is. It just hits. I mean, I don't know. It is exactly what you need in that moment. I feel like the covers as well, it's just pure summer, especially this one. It's literally like I'm boiling at the thought. I'm wearing a dress at the thought. I then have Colty by Marina Zapata. I genuinely have no idea when the American soccer season is, so I don't know when this is actually set. Apparently it begins in August, September, so I'm so wrong, but anyway, it's giving like the end of summer, so it fits if you ask me. I don't know. And it's turning from the warm evenings into the slight chill in the air, but I don't know, I feel like it would still be good to read. I do love something like this in summer, so I think it'll be perfect even if it is set in autumn time. We then have Problematic Summer Romance by Ali Hazelwood. I mean, I think the title or the cover gives it away, but this is literally like a destination wedding sort of romance where they are literally going to, I think it's one of their siblings or one of their friends. Oh, it's the FMC's brother, set in summer, and they're in a Sicilian villa. So obviously it's set in summer, and I think it would just be so good to read when it's already warm out, and it's just the perfect setup for a summer read, and I cannot wait to pick this up. I have loved Mate by Ali Hazelwood, so I can't wait to read more by her. With that said, I actually do want to read more of her books for summer, so they are also on my TBR. I think Deep End and Not in Love, as well as this one. So I can't wait, and I think it'll be perfect. I then have Dust Storm by Maggie Gates. Again, another small town romance. I don't have a huge idea what goes on in this. I just know I saw it indie published and then it was picked up, and obviously now they're published or being published still, but I don't know, it just sounds like a really fun cowboy romance for summer. I just think they are literally what I want in summer, so I can't complain, and I have loads to read, so I'm very excited to be able to start reading them in a summer setting or like a warmer spring setting anyway. It's another love song by Julie Soto. If you've been here for a hot minute, if you've been here for a second, you guys will know I've had this book on my TBR forever, and I think this is the time that we're finally going to get it read. I don't actually know when this is meant to be set, but I know it's a New York City setting, and I say that every time, so it should absolutely convince me to pick this up, but I don't know. I think this is going to be perfect for a spring read. I just feel like spring in Manhattan, unreal. And the cover is giving me spring summer with the vibrant pink and the blue as well. City of Fallen Angels / Cassandra Clare / The Mortal Instruments. Basically, like I said, anything by Cassandra Clare. She is an author I just feel is so all year rounded, but specifically The Mortal Instruments feels very springy / summery for me. I think I started the series then. I can't be 100% sure, but I'm pretty sure I've associated it with spring. I just cannot wait to jump back into this series. I have been reading it in the order that is recommended, which is the first 3 books in the Mortal Instruments, then the Infernal Devices, back into the Mortal Instruments, and then you continue on with her other series, other novellas. Yeah, I'm very excited to get back into the Mortal Instruments because I have enjoyed that more than I enjoyed the Infernal Devices. I'm excited nonetheless, and I cannot wait to see what happens and see where the story goes in the next 3 books. We then have Vicious by V. Schwab. I feel like I could literally include anything by V. Schwab at this point because all of their books I just want to read. So Invisible Life of Addie LaRue, I want to continue the Shades of Magic series as well. I just want to read everything by V. Schwab at this point. This though I've heard amazing things about. I genuinely don't hugely know what it is meant to be about. I know it's either a trilogy or an ongoing series because book 3 is due to come out at some point soon, I think. I know it's an ongoing. It's missing a book. One's due to come out or is coming out, I don't know. I actually haven't read the back of this. Victor and Eli start out as college roommates, brilliant, arrogant, lonely boys who recognise the same ambition in each other. A shared interest in adrenaline, near-death experiences and seemingly supernatural events reveals an intriguing possibility that under the right conditions someone could develop extraordinary abilities. When their thesis moves from the academic to the experimental, things go horribly wrong. 10 years later, Victor breaks out of prison, determined to catch up to his old friend and foe, aged by a young girl with stunning ability. Meanwhile, Eli's on a mission to eradicate every other superpowered person he can find, aside from his sidekick, an enigmatic woman with an unbreakable will. Armed with terrible powers on both sides, driven by the memory of betrayal and loss, the arch-nemesis have set a course for revenge, but he'll be left alive at the end. I have literally never heard of anything like this, but it sounds incredible. From literally the one book I've read by V. Schwab, it's gonna be amazing. I have no doubt. So, am I going to be picking this up at some point soon? Probably not. I will be picking it up over spring summer because for me it gives that. I then have Heavenly Bodies, which I still am yet to read. I did get 10 chapters in, almost 100 pages in, and I just put it down and completely forgot about it. But we don't talk about that anymore because I need to go back into it, and I have got the Fairyly edition of Fallen Stars coming anytime now. I don't know when, but anytime now. So I can't wait for that to come because I love those covers so much. I genuinely, even if I hate the books, I think I will keep that Fairyly edition just because it is so stunning. Say what you will, I think I would genuinely, I just adore them. So even if I don't love them, I will keep it. And you have to fight to get your hands on them, so yeah. Those resellers these days, guys, honestly, what is wrong with them? I'm excited to pick this up. I think it does, for me, give summer vibes. Even though the cover is kind of winter, autumn colours, like a darker colour scheme, I do think, for me, it gives that the story is actually summery and spring-like. I can't explain it, but that is the vibes I get, and I cannot wait to pick this up. I've heard raving reviews. I need to go back into it, guys. I then have Diabound by Sable Sorensen. This, I don't know what it is, but this just, I think it might be the colour scheme of the actual book, but for me it just gives pure spring summer. Even the sprayed edges on this edition, it just feels so light, sunny, even though it feels like the actual story is cold. I don't know, for me it feels like the type of book that I would want to pick up in summer. I don't even know what the setting of this is. I assume it's quite cold and snowy because of the mountain sort of setup. I love to read anything in any sort of season, but for me I just love also reading something that goes against the season we're currently in. Do you know what I mean? I'm always dreaming of being in a season we're not in. The thought of a season is so much better than the actual. So Fury Bound, book 2 is coming out soon, and I want to have that read to go into that. I have A Tongue So Sweet and Deadly. Again, I can't explain it, but for some reason these fantasies are just giving me summer, spring vibes. I do love to pick up a fantasy in summer. I don't know why. It just, do you know what I mean when I say a fantasy setup is like a warm, humid, not necessarily desert, but sometimes a desert world? Do you know what I mean when I say that? Because sometimes that is what I imagine when I'm reading a book. For things like An Ember in the Ashes, that sort of setup where it's a hot, humid sort of climate. I don't know if that's even the right thing to imagine, but I do love reading a fantasy because it feels, sometimes I'm imagining that sort of climate when I am reading them. And it's obviously a sunny, hot summer sort of climate when we're in it. Did that make any sense? Because it feels like it didn't even for me. I'm excited for this. That gives me that vibe where it's at, I don't even know why, because obviously I haven't read it. I don't know what the setup of the world is. I don't know where we are, what the climate is for these worlds. But for me, when I look at a fantasy, I will either imagine one of the two. And for this, for some reason, it is giving humidity. Also so excited for that because I've heard nothing but good things and everyone loves it. I then have A Reaper at the Gates by Saboteur, which again, like I've just said, for A Tongue So Sweet and Deadly, this is literally that setup. I don't know where we are in this book. I literally can't remember. I know it's so bad. I can't remember where we are in this, but I know for at least book one we were in the desert. Felt for me like it was very hot, and I think just regardless, this is a hot, humid climate either way, and I love reading that, specifically in summer, because obviously that is how we are feeling with the humidity in the UK. Even though it's not that bad, it feels stifling sometimes. So I just love reading a book that is set in that climate when we are in that climate too. And I can't wait to continue this series. I keep saying it every time I talk about this book, but I absolutely need to finish it now because I have loved book one and book two. I can't wait to see where the series goes. I just know it's going to be utter agony by the end of book four. I then have Avalon Tower by Cian Crawford and Alex Rivers. I was thinking, does this actually give me summer vibes? But it does actually say that I spent 5 years saving up for a European vacation, but instead of getting to drink champagne on the beach, I've been swept up in a secret war between the humans and the Fae. I'm very excited for this. I've recently seen one of my TikTok friends talking and raving about this series, so obviously I'm so excited to go into it. Just seeing her talk about it and rave about it was the thing that pushed me over the edge to go and buy the books. I will be picking these up as soon as I can. I have such an extensive TBR, guys, it's worrying. But yeah, I cannot wait for this. I feel like I'm going to enjoy it, and I think it's going to be a really fun, fast read. I then have Legendborn, which is another fantasy that just really gives me pure spring summer vibes. I don't know if it's the academy setting. I just feel like it's so spring. I don't know if it's the sort of academy setting it is or the way the blurb writes it to be. Couldn't tell you why, but I can't wait. I can't wait. I think it is the academy setting for this. For some reason it is telling me this needs to be read in April or May. Going to say now, I would love to have a little reread of the Windy City series over the summer. Maybe not all of them because that is a 5-book series to reread, but I would love to start my reread of the series, specifically starting with Mile High, of course. And I would just love to at least read maybe Mile High and The Right Move, because I read them in autumn before and it was amazing, and I just feel like I would love to read them whilst it's hot. Just, I feel like the absolute vibes would be perfect. Those are two I really want to reread and at least start my Windy City reread, because I've been dying to for so long now. I wanted to start it last year but I didn't get around to it. I'm not trying to go over the top of rereads because I just know I won't get around to them. I'm trying to find some other books I have that I don't own yet that I'd like to pick up. I would love to go back and read Game Changers, the first book in the Game Changers series by Rachel Reed, because I have the long game to read. I think I need to go back to the beginning and then read the ones I haven't yet read before I read the long game. So I'd love to do that. I would love to get Riftborn read, but I'm waiting until the first book re-releases and the new hardback traditionally published version comes out, because I haven't got the indie editions of Duskbound or The Ascended, because I know the rest of their books continuing the series later on are going to be trad versions. I would like to have my first read of it as the traditionally published versions because I know there have been some changes. Maybe Shield of Sparrows by Devney Perry. I know that was all the rage last year, but I never got round to it, so I would like to do that. And then I'm trying to go back into some of the very famous sort of fantasies that we've got, so Empire of the Vampire and Malice. They are ones I want to go to. I do actually really want to pick up Game of Thrones at the moment. That's actually to read. But I know it's a very long series and I know it's not completed. And I don't think it's got any hopes of being completed anytime soon. So I'm not 100% sure. Do I read the books before I watch the series? First Time Cooler because I've got And Now Back to You, but I would like to read that series in order. Literally anything by Kennedy Ryan as well. I think I would love to read either Real or Before I Let Go because I've got book 2 in that series, but I don't have book 1, so I need to get that before I go into, I can't remember what it's called. Before I Let Go and Real I'd like to pick up. Whiskey Business and Homebound, they're 2 I'd like to pick up. Heathen and Honeysuckle by Sarah A. Bailey. I love the sound of that. I've seen it everywhere recently and it's an indie published book, but I would love to pick that up. It looks amazing. Immortal Dark by Tigest Girma. That I know was all the rage at one point and everyone was talking about it, but I, again, never got around to picking it up. So I'd like to pick that up at some point. Lady of Darkness by Melissa K. Rorick. I DNF'd the Legacy series by her. I know how the relationship within the Legacy series ends and I just have no interest in that whatsoever, so I just thought I'm not putting myself through another 2 books, 2 long books as well, if that's going to be where it ends. I do want to go into the Darkness series because I feel like that could be more for me. Night Rider by Sloane Fletcher. Yeah, I feel like I could keep going on, but I really shouldn't because this is going to be like 1,000 books long and these books shouldn't be the priority, but there are some books that I just really want to pick up that I don't own. Do you know what I mean? Please Don't Go by E. Salvador. That would be lovely. And I love the cover of this. Like, what? Feel like that is a lot of them talked about. Just briefly named the ones I don't have because they aren't as high a priority for me. I do have loads that I have not on my TBR, my physical TBR at least, that I would love to pick up over spring/summer, and I think the ones I've talked about are named are the ones that are mainly on my radar for then. Basically the ones I've talked about mainly in this video are the ones that are higher on my priority list, so I hope you enjoyed that. Let me know any you'd like to see me read and I will try to include it in one of these videos. For now, that is it. I hope you enjoyed. If you did, please like, subscribe, comment, let me know. I love hearing from you all and hopefully we can get through some of these together at some point over the next few months. I'm so excited for all of them. Again, thank you so much for watching. I hope to see you soon in the next one.